Hi everyone, I'm Vicky Murphy. I am a Jira Align specialist at Valiantys, which is a Platinum Solutions partner with Atlassian. And in this video, I'll be breaking down the updates to Jira Align with the release of version 11.3. This version was released to Jira Align instances on the continuous release track, typically your test or dev environment, on August 30th, 2024, and it will be released to production instances on September 13th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump into these updates. Kicking off with an update to the Jira connector, you can now sync the built-in Teams field from Jira with Teams in Jira Align. For customers who are using Jira Cloud, this will be the Atlassian Teams in Jira. If you are using Jira Data Center, this will be the shared teams. Plan-specific teams will be excluded in either case. This update brings the Atlassian platform closer together and allows teams to utilize the functionality in Jira associated with Atlassian or shared teams while still properly syncing data to Jira Align. That functionality includes utilizing the team dashboard in Jira Cloud, as well as utilizing the team sprint capacity planning functions and plans for both data center or cloud customers. To set up this syncing, Jira Align admins can navigate to the administration panel under the Jira Settings tab or page on the Jira Setup tab. We'll scroll down until we see our custom fields here. Under custom fields, we have always had a team custom field setting, but now we have a new toggle here. You can continue utilizing a custom field, or you can change this to be the built-in field. When you do this, you will still need to enter the ID for that built-in field, but you'll notice a little information bubble here. After you save this setting, you will need to utilize the API 2.0 to actually create the team mappings between your Jira and your Jira Align teams. Currently, this is the only path to actually make that connection. Atlassian linked instructions with the specific API calls to use in the release notes for you. Prior to changing the setting, I do recommend running some tests in your sandbox environment to really fully understand the process you'll need to go through to create these mappings. And also, once you move into enabling this in production, first make sure all your teams are appropriately created in Jira before you enable this setting. This will hopefully minimize any potential downtime while the data isn't properly syncing until those mappings are in place. In the release notes, Atlassian also stated that they will save your previous custom field mappings if you ever do need to switch back to utilizing that custom field instead of the built-in field. Great. I'm going to jump into my program tier for the remaining updates. Starting off, the release vehicle roadmap report has been removed from the enterprise or strategy tier and is now available in the solution, program, and team level reports menu. Can access this by going to one of those tiers, going to the reports page in the left-hand navigation, and there you will find that release vehicle roadmap report. Keep in mind, if you've renamed release vehicle in your system, this would match that naming. So if you call it fixed version or anything else, it may be renamed for you. Atlassian stated that this was done to resolve the report not loading appropriately in that enterprise or strategy tier. Next, let's switch over to our dependencies menu. We now have 3 new fields that we can add to the columns in the dependencies grid. This includes the created by field. This will show us the user profile picture for the person who created the dependency. You can hover over this to see more information, including their name. And then the last updated fields. You can enable these in your dependency grid. This is a user by user setting, and you can go to column shown to toggle those on here. Let's go ahead and jump to objectives for our next update. Objectives now have a notes text area field that is a multi-line text field that is included in the details panel. This is available whether you are using the legacy or new experience for our objectives. Here in the legacy experience, it will be towards the bottom of the panel, and in either experience, it will allow up to 2,000 characters. If I switch experiences, the notes will appear in the right-hand side of the details panel right here. And switching to the program room for the final in-tool update here. This is a reminder update for a change that will take place in the next release, version 11.4, scheduled for September 27th, 2024. In that release, Atlassian will be enforcing the use of the capacity-based widget in calculations in the program room. Several releases ago, Atlassian added a toggle to our program room that allowed us to enable a forecast versus capacity widget here. This pulls the forecast versus capacity plan that is pulled from the forecast and capacity modules for either epics or features for all of the teams in this program for the selected PI. Along with this widget, Atlassian also introduced some new calculations for our load widgets. First, with this new capacity versus forecast widget, we no longer have the program load estimates view. And for the program load actual view and the team load widget, the calculations have been streamlined and no longer require manual overrides, again, pulling data from that forecast and capacity plan. Currently, users are able to toggle this functionality on or off, and with the next release, that toggle will be removed and all users will begin utilizing the capacity-based calculations and widget. It is recommended, if you haven't at this time, to go ahead and train your users up on this functionality and update any internal documentation around the program room so that your users are fully aware of what the new calculations will be. And we'll use the slides for the remaining updates. Atlassian is rolling back an update that they released in version 11.0. The original update was intended to improve syncing of sprints when a story or defect in Jira Align was moved from a sprint to the unassigned backlog. The connector would move the linked issue in Jira from its sprint to the backlog, keeping the two issues in sync. Since that update, Atlassian has learned that if corrective steps are taken in Jira Align to correct sprint misalignments, such as deleting and rearranging sprint mappings, resyncing data, stories or defects could mistakenly be moved from their sprints to the backlog. Because of this unexpected behavior, the update was rolled back on September 3rd, 2024. Atlassian is planning to release a bug fix on September 6th, 2024, and the functionality is planned to be reintroduced in a future release once Atlassian can fully take in all of the possible conditions to avoid this behavior. Atlassian also linked to an announcement doing a deep dive on the root cause of this bug in the release notes. Another coming soon update in version 11.6, scheduled for November 22nd, 2024, the theme burn-up chart from the theme program increment progress widget in the portfolio room will be removed. This is specifically the burn-up chart area of this widget. The theme program increment progress that you see below is going to remain. Atlassian stated that this is being removed as it is has far less utility than other widgets in the portfolio room and is increasing page loading times. An update for any Enterprise Insights users. From Enterprise Insights, you will now have the option to export your Jira Align cloud data from Enterprise Insights to import into your own database or data lake. When you do this file retrieval, your data will be exported to Apache Parquet formatted files that are stored on a dedicated Amazon Web Services S3 bucket that only you have read access to. This new option is offered as an alternative for when you are unable to use a Microsoft SQL Server client or compatible ODBC/JDBC client to access Enterprise Insights. Additionally, we have some updates to our audit logging. Whenever a user is added or removed from teams or sprints, the team sprint and user audit logging will be in place. And Atlassian does continue with their performance improvements. With this release, we will see improvements to the program board. Atlassian has reduced the loading times for the program board by 50 to 90% by optimizing the SQL queries used to render the program board each time it loads. With our navigation menu, users who have access to many teams will see faster loading times in the navigation menu thanks to the new paginated loading to get team data in batches versus a single slow batch. And lastly, the portfolio room, Atlassian has made 2 optimizations to this room that should result in faster page load times. These updates include moving the quarterly impact roadmap to its own API endpoint so that it loads in parallel with the page and all other widgets, and making the page read only so that it no longer writes to session that was causing some slowdowns in the page loading. The release notes are linked for you in the description of this video if you want to do a deeper dive into any of these updates or any of the defect fixes included in this version. And that is all for the release of version 11.3 to Jira Align. Thank you so much for watching.